Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Vita Luka, and today I've got a story for you. Just before we get into the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also ring the bell so you're notified every time I post. By the way, I'm becoming regular. It'll be every Sunday from now on. And also, this story is not what you think it's gonna be at all. So, I used to work at McDonald's for 6 years. Don't ask me how I lasted that long, I really don't know, and I'm a little bit made to want to go back and work for them, especially at stressful times at my current job now. Love to work for them any day of the week because it was less stressful than that. Or at least I managed it a lot better. I don't know. But, yeah. So I mainly managed the night shifts. I was a swing manager at this point. It was maybe about my 4th or 5th year in at McDonald's. And so on this night, I believe it was just me, one other girl, and then I had a kitchen person. And maybe I had one more staff to do front counter or assist in any way. But we always had like bare minimum staff, no more than 5 people serving, helping customers. We always had 2 people cleaning all the time, every night. And so with this, we got to a point where we were pretty backed up. We had a long line. Somehow someone cut in front of the other person, but my crew member was like asking everyone like if their prices of their order was correct. So she got this one guy. She was like, "Did your order $9? He goes, "Yeah." Actually, I don't even know if he said yes, but he ended up taking the payment and then like paying for it. And then once we gave him his food, well, he didn't pay $9. And so he gets quite upset and he's demanding that we give him his food now because he paid for it. And we're like, "Hey, no, you did not pay for it. You paid for this. You consented to this order by paying for it. So no." But I'm like, "Look, your order is more. It's $21. Just pay the difference and I'll give you your food." Nope, wouldn't go for that. But it's a reasonable request. You just pay for your food, but we'll actually minus off the order that you paid for so that you don't have to pay more than you already were going to anyways. But no, he didn't want to go for that. He was like, "I paid, so I want my food." And it's like, "Well, you didn't pay for that food." And he's like, "Well, I'm not leaving until you give me my food." And I'm like, "Well, then I guess you're not leaving." And so he ended up sitting there for a while. And I eventually just got fed up. And I was like, "I'm just going to call the police, get you out of my drive-thru because, well, you can't just hold it up for something like this when you need to pay for your food. And then once you do, we'll give it to you, It's like just because you paid $9 doesn't mean you get the $11 for free. Like, it doesn't work like that. And so he didn't want to go for it. Fine by me. He ended up driving up to the next window so we could actually still assist people. And then I went up to him and I'm like, "Look, if you want to pay by card, you now don't have the option to because you moved away from the window. We need an extra like $11 and then we can give you your food." So his girlfriend or something that was sitting next to him starts recording me now. And I'm like, "Look, you want to pay for your food, then we will give it to you. Like, pay the rest of your bill and we will give it to you. You can't just pay half and expect to get the full thing." And then I was like, "But you don't have my permission to be filming me." And then I just left and I called the police. I got their license plate number. After about like 5 or so minutes, they ended up driving off anyways. I didn't have much patience in the beginning. So about maybe 10 minutes later, we see like police lights across the street in one of the parking lots. So I was working in Saskatoon at a really ghetto McDonald's. It's probably the most ghetto McDonald's in all of Saskatoon. I'm pretty sure you could confidently say that. So police are always there. It was kind of regular for us to call the police. Half the time we had so many people that we couldn't deal with because you're not allowed to actually physically touch anybody. And we would get drunks who would pass out in the restaurant. We would get tons of just messed up people, and we'd ask them to leave politely. And McDonald's is still private property. Like, you just can't hang out because you think it's public. Like, no, it's private property. So we called the police quite a bit, and we see them quite a bit. We give them half off for coming through the drive-thru because it keeps them coming around and it keeps us safe as employees. I've got so many crazy stories about this McDonald's. This one particular McDonald's, hit the like button and I'll do more. But yeah. So anyways, we see a cop pull someone over and we're like, whatever, no problem. Happens all the time, right? Someone just did something illegal. And I'm pretty sure this was before the restaurant ended up closing at 1 a.m. because about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes after that, it was definitely after 1 a.m. already. 30 minutes after that, we get a police officer come inside the restaurant and he's like, oh, yeah, like he ordered some food and he was like, oh, just so you know, we pulled over that request that you did. And I was like, oh, really? Thank you for that. And he was like, did they ever end up getting their food? And I was like, no, because they wouldn't pay for the correct amount that they were supposed to pay for. And he was like, well, they're down that money, but they've got like a more expensive night to come. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, so you know the vehicle? Yeah, it's unregistered. In Saskatoon, that's a $500 plus ticket right there. And then the cop decides to tell me like, oh yeah, and I wouldn't let them drive it back home. And they lived in Warman, which is about 24, 25 kilometers away from Saskatoon. So depending on how fast you drive, you could get there in roughly like 20 to 30 minutes, let's say. And depending where in Warman they live and whatnot. And so, yeah. So it's about that far away. It also depends on the traffic, because if it's an event or whatever, there's going to be a lot more. But in this night, it was maybe like, it wasn't that. And so, yeah, it was about that. But the police officer made them take a cab, waited for them to get in the cab, and then decided to come and talk to us. So he actually made sure they got in the cab and took the cab to Warman. And so that cab had to easily be $50+ right there. So these guys ended up spending $559 from one trip to McDonald's just because they couldn't pay $11 and actually get their food and get their order. So they literally got absolutely nothing from us at McDonald's. We got to keep their $9. And they have to pay the city $500, and they had to give some taxi driver $50 plus tip. And who knows, maybe more, because a lot of the time when they're driving them for a really far length, as well as they're from the sketchy areas, they generally make them pay first, and they'll reimburse whatever's extra later. And I'm pretty sure they do something so that it's not much that you get back, if you even get anything back. Because I do know from experience that a 7-minute cab ride was about like $13 for 7 minutes. And then you have to give a tip. Yeah, so that's how I ended up making someone spend $500+ in one night at a McDonald's. Didn't all go directly to McDonald's, but hey, the money went somewhere. But yeah, if you want to see more of my crazy McDonald's videos, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and stick around for every Sunday when I post a video. Might be a McDonald's video next time. Who knows? I've got tons of stories from my 6 years of experience there. See ya!